Mega Evolution. Yes, this set has been out for almost about a week now, and we're already starting to see some pull rates, see some prices of some cards, and see some of the prices of some products. They're starting to go kind of crazy, and the pull rates that we are seeing for this set are absolutely insane, especially for the high tier cards in this set. We'll be getting to that in this video. Before we get into it, I appreciate if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. So we finally got more details on the pull rates for Mega Evolution, and they seem absolutely insane, especially for the high tier cards in this set, these gold cards, the Mega Ultra Rares. My opinion on these cards, I personally don't really like these. I mean, I've never really liked the gold cards in my opinion. I've seen these in person and I still don't really like them. They look nice, don't get me wrong. I think the Mega Lucario looks better than the Gardevoir, but that's just my personal opinion. We're going to be going into some prices of these, and let's go into the actual pull rates of these cards. It's absolutely insane. Shout out to PokeBeach as always for this information. They're absolutely amazing for this, but let's see this. This actually came from TCGPlayer as well, but PokeBeach always puts this out in a very nice format, so it's amazing to go through. Amazing site. Appreciate them so much. So let's get into it. So the pull rates for Mega Evolution have been determined by our friends at TCGPlayer after opening over 5,000 packs. Okay, 5,000 packs. 5,000 packs, in my opinion, I would say is a good sample size. I don't really think it's an insane sample size. Like, you'd have to go through 20 to 30 to 40,000 to actually really be able to tell the pull rates, in my opinion. But off of 5,000 packs, you can kind of get a feel for what they actually are. So this is going to be crazy right here. This is insane. So the new gold cards named Mega Hyper Rares have a pull rate of 1 in 1,260 booster packs. 1,260? That is absolutely insane. It kind of makes sense now, the prices for these cards. As PokeBeach says right here, the current prices are $500 to $600 for each of these. If we go to the actual cards as of right now, which we can look at real quick, the current prices on the Mega Lucario gold card is $561. The Gardevoir is $480. So it kind of makes sense what their prices are. In my personal opinion, does it make sense to kind of with the pull rates and stuff like that? I mean, I guess it kind of does make sense. They're so rare. But like I said, in my opinion, I don't really like these cards. That's just my personal opinion. I don't really have a feel for them really. Maybe over time I'll start to kind of get more, I guess, having to like them and everything like that. But as of right now, I really don't personally like these cards too much. Like I said, they're nice looking, but like, am I okay paying the $560 or the price tag for these cards? Probably not, in my opinion. And if I pull this card, would it be something that I would keep? Probably not. I would probably sell this immediately. In SAR, like Gardevoir, Mega Lucario, or Mega Venusaur, or Mega Latias, would I keep that? Yeah, I probably would. But the gold cards, I don't really like them. I've never really liked gold cards too much. I've never been fond of them. And just because we have these new type of style gold cards, I'm not going to be acting like I like these cards. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm just never really, like I said, they look cool and stuff like that. But like, I wouldn't go out of my way paying that extreme price for them. I would prefer to pay for the Gardevoir or the Lucario. In my personal opinion, if you want to be honest with you, I think these cards are just hyped to the moon right now. Like I said, the pull rates of it kind of makes sense. The pull rates are absolutely insane for these cards. Insane. This is 7 times rarer than the rarest gold cards in the Scarlet and Violet. That is 7 times rarer. That is absolutely insane. You know what Pokemon Company kind of did, it seems like here, and it makes sense, honestly. If y'all don't know, if y'all weren't through the Scarlet and Violet era, nobody liked gold cards. The most expensive gold card ended up being the first card that actually reached a decent price, and it's still kind of priced a little bit high, and it kind of makes sense a little bit, is the Gold Pikachu from Surging Sparks. That card was the first gold card that went above $50. That was the first one. I think maybe the Buddy Buddy from Shroud of Fable, but that was just because it was playable. That's the only reason it was so high in price, really. But besides that, the Pikachu being above $50 was the very first one. Now we're starting to see gold cards be above that $500 range. It's kind of crazy in my opinion. Well, really, nobody's really been liking the gold cards. People like to say, oh, these are different and everything like that. These are different. Yes, they are. Like I said, they have better texture to them and everything like that. We'll have to really see how this plays out. In my personal opinion, I could definitely see these crashing. That's just my, like I said, I have a hot take on these. I've never really liked these, but let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear other people's take Do y'all like these gold cards? Have y'all seen them in person? What do y'all think of it? Like I said, I like the Mega Lucario. The Mega Gardevoir is just blah, just standing there. The Mega Lucario, I kind of like his, like, you mean the stance of him and everything like that. But besides that, it's like, is it worth the price tag? I guess for the amount of packs you have to open up for. So it kind of makes sense, but we'll have to see what happens here. Let's the gold cards are the gold cards, I guess. We'll see what happens, see how they kind of go out and everything like that. So now the special illustration rares could be found in 1 out of 101 packs. So that's pretty, honestly. So it seems like they're getting a little harder with the rarities in the Mega Evolution era, which is interesting, honestly. So that is going to be interesting to see how we kind of go through. Because if y'all don't know, the next main set that we have for the Mega Evolution era is Phantasmal Flames. And that being a Charizard set, I wonder what the pull rates will be. Will they be absolutely insane? Will it be really hard to pull? I feel like Pokemon Company makes SARs, like specific rares to pull and stuff like that, like 1 out of 101 packs. But they make specific SARs, I think, harder to pull, in my personal opinion. Like, for example, I think the Charizard will be extremely hard to pull. But we'll have to really see what happens here. But 1 out of 101 packs is not still crazy, in my opinion. It is starting to get harder than the Scarlet and Violet era. So we'll have to really see what happens here and see how Pokemon plays out. In my opinion, what I think they're trying to do really is, if y'all don't know, Sword and Shield era was absolutely insane for pull rates. I heard they were insanely hard to pull in alternate art, insanely difficult. Scarlet and Violet era, it got kind of easier, a lot easier to pull, like the special illustration rares and everything like that. For example, like 1 out of 90 packs. I think Pokemon is kind of trying to find like a medium here, really, being like, oh, they want these cards to be rare, but they want them to not be rare and people be able to pull them. They're trying to find a common medium, and I think that's what they're kind of doing here, just testing the waters to see how that goes. But in certain sets, they do up the rarity on some cards and stuff like that, so we'll have to really see how that goes. But illustration rares are easier to pull. They are out of 1 out of every 9 packs, and they're previously 1 out of 12 packs, which is good in my opinion. I kind of like the way they're going with this. So they're making some cards more rare, like the gold cards and the SARs, but the illustration rares more easier to pull, which is nice because everybody likes pulling these illustration rares. There's certain illustration rares that are really nice to pull and everything like that. The ultra rares is 1 out of every 12 packs, and they were previously 1 out of every 15 packs. Makes sense. And double rares like the EXs or 1 out of 5 packs, and it kind of makes sense and stuff like that. So we can kind of go through the pull rates of each set to really see how they work. For example, like the SARs in Mega Evolution is 1 out of 101 packs, but for Black Bolt White Flare, they're 1 out of 80 packs. We don't know the pull rates for, I'm guessing, the BWRs. That's kind of crazy to see that, honestly. I think these, if we have to compare these, I think these are way better than the gold cards, in my personal opinion. I love these cards. The Black Bolt and White Flare ones, they look absolutely amazing. Look way better than gold cards, in my personal opinion. Like I said, maybe down the line, I might change it and be like, hey, I like these better. We'll really have to see what happens. But like I said, let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on that. We can get the whole entire, I guess, even look at for Prismatic Evolutions. It was 1 in every 45 packs for an SAR. Bruh. I don't think they're 1 out of every 45 packs. There's no way. But what is funny though with this is, for Prismatic Evolutions, you could pull a gold card. You could pull any gold card, a specific one, and still only have not even pulled a gold card from Mega Evolution era. So it's interesting to really see this, but we can, like I said, we can definitely tell it in the price tags of these sets to see what this is. It makes sense. So we'll really have to see how this stands. With the pull rates being so difficult, it kind of makes sense for the price tags, but it is just interesting to see this. And what is interesting too about this set is the SARs, the set is holding a good amount of value for these cards. They haven't dropped down crazy in price. They dropped down a little bit, but nothing crazy. If this is what is very, very interesting to me as well too, is if we look to this set for 1 second and compare this to Desert Rivals, we will hear in a second, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards over $100. Kangaskhan is like barely there, but there is 9 cards over $100. That is kind of crazy. We'll really have to see how this set plays out over the next couple weeks and stuff like that. This set has almost been out for a week now, so we're really not crazy into this. The other thing too that I would have to say though, that a lot of people I think tend to forget about this set, is this is only the wave 1 of this release. We still have a whole nother wave coming, so you'll have to remember that. We have a confirmed good amount of this set coming. We don't know when it's going to be, probably within the next month or so. So don't FOMO over this set. Maybe possibly prices will come down, but just want y'all to remember that, okay? Okay. Well, I was going to go over in Destined Rivals. I mean, we kind of could because I already kind of started it. But if we look at Destined Rivals, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards over $100. That's it. 6 cards over $100. And in Mega Evolution, we have 9 cards over $100. That is really interesting to see. We'll see how that really plays out and see how long that lasts. Maybe Mega Evolution. Some people are saying this is better than Destined Rivals. In my personal opinion, I don't think so. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Kind of wanted to go over this a little bit, go over the pool rates. It's really interesting to see this. The gold cards, Pokemon is trying to make them rare and I guess more expensive because they've been slept on for so long. The only really gold cards that I think a lot of people are really interested into are the Legendary Treasure, Zekrom, and Reshiram ones. Those are the only ones that people really like and tend to like. Now they're trying to start to move towards like them being rare, so I guess be more expensive. We'll have to see really how this plays out. But let me know your thoughts and opinions. We appreciate it. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Peace.